Hi, I'm Richard Price. Welcome to Occupational and Industrial Safety. ETGR 2230 is an undergraduate level class on occupational safety, while MFPA 5223 is a graduate class on industrial safety. Both classes will follow the same outline, but the graduate class will be more in-depth and will also require students to present a personal research project. The course content is aligned with the 15 weeks in a semester and is also aligned with OSHA Training Institute's 30-hour general industry course. Week 1 will cover managing safety and health. Week 2 will present an OSHA overview. Week 3 will cover life safety issues such as exit routes, emergency action plans, and fire protection and prevention. Week 4 will address slip, trip, and fall hazards by talking about walking and working surfaces and fall protection. Week 5 will talk about materials handling and ergonomics. Week 6 will present information on the Hazard Communications Standard and the Hazardous Waste Operations and Emergency Response Standard. Week 7 will cover hazardous materials in general with a few specifics, and also the Process Safety Management Standard. Week 8 will talk about personal protective equipment and respiratory protection. Week 9 will cover industrial hygiene, herring conservation, and welding, cutting, and brazing operations. Week 10 will address machine guarding and hand and power tools. Week 11 will address lockout-tagout, which is an essential program in industry and in construction. Week 12 will address electrical safety issues, including NFPA 70E. Week 13 will talk about permit-required confined spaces and excavations. Week 14 will address accident and incident investigation, and finally in Week 15 we will address human performance issues as well as safety leadership and safety conflict resolution. All materials needed for the successful completion of these courses are available on the course web pages. These include custom podcasts, links to written materials including regulations and example procedures and processes, real-life videos which show actual safety and health implementation and processes in the field, asynchronous discussion boards where we will all demonstrate personal understanding and further inquiry into health and safety topics, and finally, weekly quizzes. During Week 1, please read the syllabus, post your introduction on the Introductions discussion board, view the safety management video, read the recommended practices for safety and health programs, view the pretest planning video, view the job hazard analysis, pretest survey, and safety observation forms, post 200 words on managing safety and health to the discussion boards by midnight on Friday, post a response to at least one other student's posting by midnight Sunday, and finally complete the Week 1 quiz. Managing safety and health is a very straightforward process. The first step is always hazard assessment, identifying which hazards are present in the workplace. The second step is to prioritize those hazards so that they may be addressed in a proper and timely manner. The third step is to develop hazard mitigation programs. The fourth step is to design and deliver training in order to implement the program effectively. The fifth step usually involves assessing implementation to determine the program's effectiveness, and the sixth step involves formulating and implementing continuous improvements. The seventh step involves performing these previous 6 steps on a recurring basis. Managing health and safety is all part of a continuous improvement process cycle. We're always looking for better ways to do things and more efficient ways to do things. A hazard assessment matrix can be very useful in helping us to prioritize what gets done first. High hazard activities with a high frequency of occurrence always need to be addressed first. Health and safety programs often involve written programs. These written programs need to address regulatory requirements as well as addressing specific hazards that are present in the workplace you're examining. Always say how you're going to address the hazards that are present. Do not simply restate the regulation. Training is also an essential component of health and safety programs. It's important to convey specific program requirements and practices to the people who are responsible for implementing them. The format of training must be easily accessible and understandable to the intended audience, and is most effective if implementation is used to evaluate effectiveness, specifically observing the person apply what they have learned in the workplace. Periodic assessments are critical to make sure that the program is doing what you want it to do. Levels and frequencies of assessments are often driven by regulatory requirements and the complexity of the programs in place. Determining who performs the assessment is also important. For simple programs, it can be as simple as the operator themselves. For complex programs, it may require the process owner or even a team of subject matter expert, process user, and process owner to arrive at the appropriate ways of addressing a hazard. Always use basic project management tools to formulate corrective actions and to track them to full implementation. Managing safety and health is all about preventing an unwanted transfer of energy, and we have 4 basic groups of methods that we employ to make this happen. The first is to eliminate the hazard entirely or substitute a less hazardous process in the existing process's place. The second most desirable group of controls involve implementing engineering controls to isolate or remove the hazard from human contact. Administrative controls involve implementing policies, procedures, and training to minimize exposure to existing hazards. And finally, personal protective equipment is often implemented to protect employees from hazards, even though this is the least desirable option. It is always better to eliminate a hazard than just protect against it. Don't forget that managing safety and health isn't just about meeting technical standards. It's also about managing people and getting them to buy into placing a high value on personal safety. All the procedures and training in the world will not help if your workforce doesn't value personal safety. So persuasion, collaboration, mediation, and conflict management skills all play a critical part in developing a culture of safety and health excellence. Preventing human suffering, increasing human effectiveness, and protecting the assets of the company are all positive outcomes of an excellent safety and health culture. And during this course, I intend to provide you with the tools to achieve these outcomes. If you're interested in making a difference, I'm here to help you do it. Let's get started.